We'll talk Baker for 10 minutes, I promise, then we'll get to the Browns, but the NFL regular season is wrapping up. And there's still time to get it on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. The app is easy to use, and there are so many different ways to bet, including live same-game parlays. You can find bets in the new Explorer tab. You can make a parlay in the Parlay Hub, which is the best and most popular way to find pre-made parlays and so much more. So make sure you visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to make your first bet a layup. FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL. Bull, the floor is yours.
First of all, Mike, do you want to put the tweet I put out yesterday that just threw a grenade into Twitter?
Steve, take 164 full, please.
This is what I put on Twitter last night after the game. I pissed off the Baker Bros and the Watson Warriors. Well, yeah, kind of both.
The Watson Warriors.
With this tweet.
Who coined?
You got it, Mike, or should I move on for now? Well, that's not my tweet, but that's the same stat. Playoff wins since 18. Baker 2, Browns 1.
Why would that piss anybody off? Those are facts.
I know, but people got mad because I was trolling a little bit there. I was just kind of having some fun.
Obviously, and you're trolling on what I would think would be the opposite side of where you sit.
Right, exactly.
I mean,
plus I'm also
it is factual.
Plus, I'm also taking a shot at the Ravens and the Steelers. So there you go. But
I mean, I guess because those are the players that you included in your tweet. But for me, it's factual.
Exactly.
Like, don't hate the messenger.
That's it. That's just true.
You can hate the message if you want, but the messenger is just dropping the bomb.
Now, Jay, I got a full presentation on Baker, but before
is it PowerPoint?
It is not PowerPoint.
Is this Kyle Shanahan?
No.
Papers.
But before I do it,
I wish it was
I'd like to hear you guys briefly. We don't have a lot of time, but if you guys give your thoughts real quick on Baker,
you want to go?
How he did. You want to go?
I thought he played good last night. I mean, he's had moments this season where he's looked really good, and he had moments where he didn't look good. And
but every quarterback has had that.
Yeah, so I thought this season overall, I thought was a pretty good season. He went to a place where he had playmakers at wide receiver. Those guys know how to make plays. He did a really good job of getting them the football. I thought that the Eagles, when I went to this playoff game and I looked at it all week, I said that Tampa Bay should win because the Eagles looked terrible.
Yeah, they did.
They went out there and he did exactly what I thought he would do.
Yeah.
Jay, your thoughts on Baker's performance?
My overall statement is Baker has officially redeemed himself. That's pretty much my thesis statement from what I've seen, not just last night. Last night he had a good game against a team that just looked like they quit 6 weeks ago. Why? I have no idea. I have friends that are Eagles fans that texted me this morning, please let this be the day. They want all the coaches out. They think that is the cancer of that team.
It's amazing how that's changed so quickly.
1 year.
8 weeks ago,
Yeah.
he was 10-1.
Yeah.
And when he ran through the tunnel after the Chiefs win, yelling at Chiefs fans and
that was embarrassing.
Just awful bravado.
Yeah.
I hate that kind of stuff. Who would have guessed that 2 months later this guy is going to be wrangling for his job today?
Unreal.
But as it pertains to Baker, he has officially redeemed himself. When he left here, obviously the pendulum on him was not a good player. Carolina gave up on him and released him. The Rams, they showed a stat last night that I didn't even know this. I knew he had played for a lot of head coaches. He has played for an NFL record 8 head coaches in 6 seasons.
Yeah.
That's mind-churning. It really is. He has said for the last 6 weeks, I feel more comfortable now than I have at any point in my NFL career. He's told reporters that I know that cover the Bucs, and this is kind of a backhanded dig at Cleveland and whatever. But he said that when he was drafted into the league, he was told by someone in the Browns organization, yeah, that chip, tone it down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And to a certain extent he did, but I thought Baker always played with chip and onions and bravado. And I think that's a good thing if that's who he is. Jason made a great point yesterday. You can't change who you are. He tried to, after he had a bad season, he did some self-reflection on the field and off the field. By the way, he did make off-field changes. On the field, when he went to L.A., McVay told him, no. That's what won you the Heisman Trophy. Mm-hmm. That's what got you the overall number 1 pick. That's what put you into the playoffs. Go with that. He did.
Yeah.
He did all this year, and I think he's officially been redeemed.
All right, let me give you some thoughts on Baker Mayfield. It's mostly facts. If I'm giving any opinion along the way, I will clearly state that it's an opinion, okay? Baker, fact. Well, this is kind of an opinion, but it's a positive, so I'll call it a fact because people can't get mad at me. Has played very well in his overall in his 3 playoff games. He's played 3 playoff games against obviously against the Steelers and against the Chiefs in 2020, and against the Eagles this year. He played excellent against the Steelers. He played excellently against the Eagles. He played okay against the Chiefs. He didn't come through at the end when he had a chance. But overall, 7 touchdowns and 1 pick in the postseason for Baker Mayfield. Excellent numbers. Really good. And after last night's game and his performance and all the craziness that surrounds Baker, I got thinking to myself, so did the Browns ultimately do the right thing, right? I wanted to look back and reflect, did the Browns do the right thing in letting Baker go? So I need to do that. I needed to look, yes, at this past season, but I also needed to look at his career because the Browns didn't have to make that decision now. They had to make that decision 2 years ago when it was a different set of facts, right? If you look back at Baker's career in 2018, he had a very good season for a rookie. I think that's a key point here. He had a very good season for a rookie.
He set the touchdown record for rookies.
He did.
It may be broken by now. I don't know.
Justin Herbert shattered it.
What my point is that C.J. Stroud this year had a great season, an MVP-level season. Baker Mayfield didn't have that kind of season in 2018. He had a very good season for a rookie. 2019, he was terrible. You look at the numbers across the board, 22 touchdowns, 21 picks. The 2020 season was really strange, right?
21 picks?
Yeah.
Bad.
The 2020 season was very strange. He started off very spotty, if you remember, in 2020. And coming off a bad 2019, there was reason not to believe in him. Through the first 10 weeks, the Browns had a decent record, right? But he had only played 4 good games through the first 10 weeks, 6 bad games. In his 4 good games, he threw 11 touchdowns and 4 picks. In the other 6 games in the first 10, he had 4 touchdowns and 5 picks and averaged 185 yards a game. And that included, well, it doesn't include anything, doesn't matter. But down the stretch of the 2020 season, he was phenomenal. He was great the rest of the year. Fantastic. He threw 11 touchdowns, 1 pick, and averaged 286 yards a game. He was great. And then he was great in the playoffs against the Steelers, and then he fell on his – didn't fall on his – I wouldn't even say he fell on his face against the Chiefs. It was an okay game against the Chiefs. 2021, his last year with the Browns, again, he was terrible. Now, you want to present the injuries, fine. We all know that thing. The bottom line, he was terrible again that year. Last year, outside of 2 decent games with the Rams, he was a disaster. This year, overall, a great year. Maybe his best. It was his 3rd best in terms of yards per game, his 2nd best in terms of turnover percentage, his career best in completion percentage, and his career best in terms of touchdowns. So you could argue it was probably his best year. Mike, I'm going over 11-20, but I promise not too much.
Why
further.
are we litigating his entire history? I didn't get that.
I just want to make a presentation. You've made a lot of presentations with facts before, and I didn't interrupt you.
I don't see how that's pertinent to today's show.
And I didn't interrupt you.
Let him go.
I just didn't know that we were going to litigate his entire career, but that's fine. I just know where he is now. That's all.
All right.
That's all I care about.
Well, so far, I mean, you're not even listening because I haven't even said anything bad right now, but that's okay.
No, I'm not
That's fine.
interested. That's why I'm not listening.
Okay, great. Thank you. In his career, Baker Mayfield in 89 games, 137 touchdowns, including 7 rushing touchdowns, 91 turnovers, including 17 lost fumbles. He has a 62 career completion percentage. Only players worse than that have played 50 games that are still active are Sam Darnold and Jameis Winston. He has a 2.6% interception percentage. The only players worse active 50 or more games, Jameis, Darnold, Jimmy G, Andy Dalton, and Mitch Trubisky. And he's 19th in yards per game in his career. Now, he's been a lot better overall since leaving the Browns and this past year in Tampa Bay. But here's a key stat that I saw for Baker. You know what his record is? 45 games he's played in his career against teams that finished the season over 500. You want to guess what his record is?
20 and 25.
20 and 25. Mike?
I said what, 18 and 27?
Okay. His record is 11 and 34 in games against teams that were over 500. And you say, well, Bull, that's not fair. Take out the Browns. What is he since leaving the Browns? Well, he's 4 and 13 since leaving the Browns. But wait, what about this year? Okay, this year. I'll give you this year specifically. He is 4 and 7 against teams over 500. Now, congratulations to him because in the last month, he won back-to-back games for the first time ever against teams over 500 when he beat the Packers and Jaguars. It was the first time in the history of his career that he's won games against teams that finished the season over 500. Not necessarily that were teams over 500 at the time. Wow. And if you look at his career numbers, he is one of only 3 quarterbacks that has averaged over a turnover a game and under 1.6 touchdowns per game. Only him, Trevor Lawrence, and Josh Allen. There's very few quarterbacks averaging over a turnover a game in their career. He's one of the few.
Who was that last one?
Josh Allen.
I'm sorry, not Josh Allen. Trevor Lawrence and Daniel Jones.
Okay. Oh.
Now, Josh Allen has averaged more than one turnover a game. He's averaged just over 109, slightly more than Baker. Baker's averaged 1.02 turnovers per game. Josh Allen's averaged 1.09, so Allen's slightly worse.
Okay.
But Baker has 137 touchdowns in 89 games. Josh Allen has 221 touchdowns in 94 games. So take the numbers how you will. Now, I will say he had his best season this year. And by next year, we may feel differently. Baker has proven this year, without a doubt, that he's a starter in the NFL. I don't think there's any doubt about it. But
So he's in the top 32.
No, he's better than that. He's probably somewhere between 15 and 20.
Okay. That's fair.
Or 15 and 25,
I think
depending on the year. But in conclusion, now this is my opinion, obviously, I don't blame the Browns for moving on for Baker Mayfield.
I know.
With the facts he had through 4 years, with the facts the Browns had for 4 years, he was not good enough. There was more bad than good in the 4 years that Baker played for the Browns. You can get blinded by the one playoff win, and he was great in that. And nobody else has won a game. But overall, through 4 years, he was not good enough. So, even with his win yesterday, and even though it hurts right now as a Browns fan to see Baker win, I get it. And he deserves his credit. And I'm not going to say he has no chance against the Lions. I do think he has a chance, and they have a chance against the Lions. Their defense is playing very well. But I don't think the Browns made the wrong move. Now, at this point, I do think they made the wrong move trading for Deshaun Watson, although I love them.
But that's part and parcel.
But I don't
Those
think
moves are hand in hand, Bull.
they didn't have to be.
They were. They are. They're linked forever.
But because I felt it was the right move to at the time, it was the right move to get rid of Baker and trade for Watson. At this point, it looks like the Watson part of that was a fail. So there you go. Now you can stop ignoring the show.
One quick thing on that, and
well, you said you didn't pay attention. So
no, I didn't. Those numbers to me mean nothing. I know where he is now. I don't care about 2018.
I think that's a little rude. I think it's a little rude.
It's not the first time.
You've given statistical presentations, and I've paid attention every time you've done it. Even if I didn't find it that interesting, I paid attention.
I just didn't find it interesting. Bill,
Okay, but I have not find some of yours not interesting.
That's okay.
We did the bottle caps. Nobody understood that, but I tried to pay attention.
That's
to
okay.
It.
Well, here's the thing, and this is what disappoints me, I guess, more than anything. That's a long way to go to relitigate a take that you clearly have changed your opinion on. You said yesterday, the Watson move right now is a fail.
I just said it yesterday.
That's what I just said.
Today.
That's what I just said.
Yes.
But here's the problem, Bull.
What?
You're saying that it was still the right move to move off on Baker.
Yes.
And the problem with that is he's played so much better than you ever anticipated he would. And all of the Baker haters.
Well, this year he's played better.
He has.
And last year he was significantly worse.
The problem that I think you left out, I didn't hear this.
Well, you
Maybe
weren't paying attention,
it.
so how would you know?
You're right. I was in and out.
Yeah.
Maybe I missed it.
Okay.
Maybe I missed the part where he's had 8 head coaches in 6 seasons.
Well, you already said that. Why would I repeat that?
Oh, okay.
See, when you talked, I was paying attention.
Well, I'll tell you why you didn't say that, because that's
because
evidence.
you had said it.
No, it's evidence that would support Baker's case.
I gave you some evidence that supported his case.
I think you might have a little bit in there.
You weren't paying attention. There was there were plenty of Did I not talk about how good he's been in the playoffs?
This was.
You did.
Let me give you a stat I left out, which would have hurt his case.
Sure.
That the 2 teams he beat in the playoffs were both completely falling apart at the end of the season. That's a fact. I didn't mention that until now.
Okay. I guess that means he sucks.
No, I never said that.
The danger of doing this, and I knew it when
I put it in the group chat this morning.
I know. And
What?
I think your instinct was right. This is not of any value, I don't think, to Cleveland Browns fans today when we're trying to figure out.
Well, plenty of Cleveland Browns fans are talking about this, are talking about Baker Mayfield on Twitter. We could have moved on for it sooner if you hadn't been rude and ignored me. But it's okay. Go ahead and move on.
You could have moved on sooner if you didn't have an 8-page presentation on why Baker sucks.
My presentation only took about 2-3 minutes. It only took about 2-3 minutes. I couldn't start till 11:19 because you were rambling on about Baker.
You started at 15.
No, I didn't.
And it's 26
It was
now.
not 2
I did
minutes.
not. I started
It did
at
not
19.
start
Anyhow,
at
I
19.
knew this was
Go
going to
ahead.
devolve, but can we do Browns talk?
How did it devolve? I made a presentation. I stated facts.
Can we do Browns talk?
And you
We have
ignored me
10
rudely, but go ahead.
We have the
I
10
did.
biggest questions
Rudely
for the Browns
ignored you, you're right.
offseason. We got to get them in an hour.